What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this very special edition of the Main Event Talk. I know this is the first Main Event Talk I haven't done in a while, and there's been a lot I've been wanting to cover and everything else like that. But there's a lot of things we need to cover as soon as we can on this particular episode of the Main Event Talk. So, before I get started, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to all the members of the Main Event Posse and Headbanger Incorporated that are watching us right now, to all my friends at Kelsey Friends, to Kelsey, to Trisha, everyone else involved in Kelsey Friends, to my best friend Stephanie Gonzalez, how's it going? To everyone over in San Antonio, Texas, especially to my boy Israel, who has asked about another episode of the Main Event Talk, and Israel, you're not the only one, so this is it, this is done, this is how we're going to put it together, okay? Everyone in San Antonio, everyone over in Houston, Texas as well, over, I believe, in Arlington, Texas, for the first time, I've actually had an email from someone saying, Furman, when are you going to come back to Arlington, Texas? I'm going to try and prepare to go back over there soon. That's kind of the idea of what's going to happen. So be prepared for that. Arlington, Texas is going to get a dose of the main event very, very soon. I just got to get some time to pull it off. To everyone over at Jameson's Bar that is watching this right now, to everyone over at Theo's Billiards is watching this right now, the Main Event Talk is on, it's in, and let's get right at. Oh, and one more thing, want to give a shout out to also to my Erlinda. What's going on? How are you? Now, let's get into it. As you guys know, WrestleMania has already passed. It's already done. It's over with. And a lot of things happen, but a lot of things happen the following night after WrestleMania. So let me get into the WrestleMania matches in particular, especially when it comes to the four big matches. Well, let me get into all of them first of all. Okay, the first one, the tag match, the whole six-man deal with the Shield against Sheamus, Big Show, and Randy Orton. The Shield, and I predicted that the Shield would win simply because they are truly the hottest tag team going in professional wrestling, the hottest three-man team that has ever been assembled. I mean, this team's a whole lot better than the NWO. That's my opinion. I know some people are going to probably say, well, Hogan, Hall, and Nash, they're way better, they're way bigger. You know something? They are bigger, they are badder, but they're not that talented. That's the difference between the Shield and the NWO. I don't feel like getting in an argument with that, but we'll see what happens. Okay, the Shield won their first WrestleMania. It's good for them. Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns of the Shield. Let's get into Ryback versus the Big Show. Well, Ryback versus Mark Henry. I'm sorry, got Big Show to the brain. Totally. Ryback, to me, personally, he should have won WrestleMania. He should have got his opportunity to win WrestleMania. He had Mark Henry. You know he did. But the world's strongest man did what he did best. He is a veteran, and he knows what goes on in that ring. And he hit the world's strongest. Actually, what he did was Ryback was about to hit him with the shell shock. And then I think as soon as Mark Henry held on to the ropes, he dropped right in the back of the head of Ryback. And then that was it. So Ryback was knocked out. 1, 2, 3. Ryback loses to Mark Henry at WrestleMania. Now, let's see. I think the other match was, I believe the next match was, I think it was Chris Jericho and Fandango, or Fandango. You know something? I really don't understand why people are making such a big deal about Fandango. Okay, I personally don't. I think he should have lost at WrestleMania for one reason. The kid cannot hang on his first day. He can't. And he didn't even hang with Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. Chris Jericho pretty much annihilated and finished Fandango. But, you know, I don't know. I guess the WWE feels the need to debut a star of this caliber and put him on the grandest stage, WrestleMania. I personally think that WWE really needs to put a better talent in there. I mean, it was good that the Shield won. At least that talent got through. Fandango, I think Chris Jericho was right when he said, you know, you won, it's your night, but then what? That's the truth. So Fandango, understand this, dude. You're a little talented. You're not as bad as I thought, but you have a long way to go, kid. So understand this. You ain't shit yet until you beat the shit. And that's how it goes. Now, I believe there was another match in particular that I wanted to touch on. I know that the Tons of Funk match and the Team Road Scholar, that didn't happen, but it happened the following night on Monday Night Raw, so that match didn't happen at all. And The Miz, he became Intercontinental Champion and on the very beginning of the show. And he won against Wade Barrett, which was good for him, a two-time Intercontinental Champion, and also unbeaten at WrestleMania. This is, I think, the fourth or fifth time that The Miz has been at WrestleMania, and he has never lost. And, like I said, at first I never liked The Miz simply because he was an arrogant jerk. I never liked him. But he started earning a lot of respect. He got a lot of respect from Ric Flair. He turned into a good guy. And then when you stand up to Brock Lesnar, and, The Miz, he got his ass kicked by Brock Lesnar, but when you stand up to a guy like him and have enough balls to do that, that's a lot of respect right there. So, Miz, you got my respect right there, my man. You did good. Now, let's get into the 20-0 streak at WrestleMania, CM Punk versus The Undertaker. This was, and I'm going to be honest, this was a good match. It wasn't a good follow-up to Undertaker versus Triple H, Hell in a Cell last year. It wasn't just as good, but it was right there. You know what I mean? Everyone was, getting into it, wondering if The Undertaker was going to lose to Punk at 20 and Punk. That's what I was thinking. I thought that was going to happen that way. But, back and forth it went. It was a tremendous match. The Undertaker got the tombstone on him. He got it on the first time, but he didn't get it all the way in. When you make that one mistake and when you try to hit your finisher as quickly as possible, it's either you get it or you don't. In this case, The Undertaker, he tried to hit it, and, CM Punk kicked out of it. And, CM Punk, as you guys know, he lost a match, by the way, against The Undertaker, so it's 21-0 at WrestleMania. CM Punk had suffered some injuries at the WrestleMania match. He has been suffering a lot of injuries ever since then. A lot of people have been worried about that. So, I believe, from what I understand, next week CM Punk is going to make his appearance on Monday Night Raw and discuss about his injury, I guess, and talk about what's going to happen later. I'm hoping that CM Punk will take a lot of time off so that way he can heal and come back as strong as ever. When should he come back? I personally think he should come back until SummerSlam. That's my opinion. But I don't know how the WWE plans on doing this whole storyline with Punk and everything else like that. So, you know how it goes. So once again, CM Punk lost to The Undertaker, 21-0. The Undertaker streak continues at WrestleMania. Now, Brock Lesnar versus Triple H. Career on the line. And I'll tell you what, now, I mentioned that CM Punk Undertaker was not the follow-up to the Hell in a Cell from last year. This was the follow-up. This match to me was awesome. This match to me was everything. I kept hearing people say on Facebook and on Twitter that this match was more real. And it was. I mean, Brock Lesnar, man, everyone was saying that Brock looked like he was on steroids or something. He looked like he was on some kind of vibe, because you look at Brock Lesnar, my God, he is a fucking beast. He's exactly who he is. He came out there and pretty much tried to dominate Triple H. The same thing applies to Triple H. He tried to dominate too. Everything was good in that match, and in the end, I thought that Brock Lesnar was going to break his arm again. He did that not once, not twice, but 3 times. And then Triple H capitalized on him by getting his shoulder right over to the ropes, or right close by the corner, hitting his arm, and then he took the sledgehammer, or took the chair, hit Brock Lesnar's arm, which was a good move on his part. He did it not once right there, but he did it twice on Brock Lesnar had brought one of the steel steps in the ring, and then all of a sudden, Triple H, he sees his arm like this, and then bam, hits it. And then after that, he hits the Kimura lock. He hits that move, the same move that broke his arm, and I thought Brock Lesnar was going to tap out. It would be amazing to see him tap out to Triple H. I think he's tapped out in the UFC before. I've seen it, because I've seen several of his fights and everything. But, to me, I think that match was just badass.